Step out of the history that is holding you back. Step into the new story you are willing to create. I'm Anthony from Pittsburgh Fit, and I'm gonna take you through today's HIIT at home workout. All right, here's where we're gonna start with a warm-up. We have 2 rounds of 10 reps each, ostrich step, inchworm, and split squats. Erica's gonna show you the ostrich step as she's moving. She keeps her shoulder blades pinned back, one foot goes in front, she keeps that leg straight, pulls her toe up, gets a nice stretch on that posterior chain. Thank you. Inchworms. Now, you guys are familiar with an inchworm already. Her hands are gonna go down to the floor. She's gonna walk out further than her shoulders with her arms straight. She's gonna walk in with her feet to her hands and repeat. If you have plenty of room, you can do your 10 inchworms traveling across the floor, or you can do 1, turn around, 1, turn around. The last exercise of the warm-up is going to be a split squat. You're gonna step forward with one foot in about the width of your squat stance, look straight ahead, sink down straight onto the floor, and drive it back up. You should feel it both in that front quad and in that back hamstring. We want about 60% of the weight in the front and about 40% of the weight on that back leg. So you have 2 rounds of 10 of each one of those exercises. The next part of our warm-up is 2 rounds of 10 of each one of these exercises as well. We're gonna start out with Samson stretches. So we're gonna step forward with the right leg in a nice big step. You're gonna let that back knee drop down to the floor. You're gonna let your hips drift forward and your hands drift up and back. Now this move is a little bit slower than you think. Each rep takes about 3 or 4 seconds to complete. You alternate by putting one leg in front and then the other. We're warming up the hips, we're warming up the shoulders, we're warming up the core. It's a nice big general movement. So take your time through those 10 reps. Now we're moving on to 10 alternating heel taps. Heels flat on the floor. You're gonna do a little sit up into a hollow hold. All you're gonna do is wiggle side to side. Your right hand reaches for your right leg, your left hand reaches for the left. Right, left is gonna be 1. You have 10 on each side. Now, the last part of the warm-up is 10 strict overhead presses. We're gonna grab something with an external load. We have a backpack. You're gonna hold it against your chest, press it up, pause, and lower it back down nice and slow, and then whip it back up over top. Good, and relax. So what we want you to do is press it overhead, hold it for a 1-second count, lower it for 2, and then rip it right back up and overhead. Slow down, fast up with a pause. Now, on to the workout. We have a little bit of a longer workout today. We have 4 rounds for time. 10 squat cleans, 12 thrusters, 16 backpack squats, and a 200-meter run. So let's start with the squat cleans. We're gonna let that backpack, the face of the backpack, lay down on the ground. What we want you to do is grab that backpack on the sides. You're gonna tap the ground, pull up to your chest, drop down into a full squat, and stand back up. So that's 1. Erica's gonna give us 2 more. Notice that she stands all the way up before dropping down into the bottom of that squat. Now, after your 10th rep, you're gonna leave it on your chest. You have a squat and a thrust. So you're gonna do 12 thrusters. That backpack or external load stays against your chest and you drive it up overhead. Our focus is gonna be on the mechanics of the squat, but we also want you to keep things nice and tight overhead. Now, we're gonna swing that backpack around to the back, go to your squat stance, and we have 16 back squats. Drop it down, stand right back up. Her hips drop below her knees, her feet stay flat on the floor, her knees drive out, and her chest stays up nice and tall. Good, relax. So there are a lot of squats in this workout. We want you to load the backpack with something that you can get through 10, 12, and 16 without putting it down. It is gonna burn your legs, and that's totally okay. That's the point of today's workout. Now, as soon as you do 10, you move on to 12. As soon as you do 12, you move on to 16. As soon as you finish your last one, you're gonna head right out the door. We want you to run for about 60 seconds. Now, if you don't wanna run, you can bike, you can row, you can ski, you can swim, or we can do these jump taps. So what we're gonna do today is Erica's gonna have her feet together. She's gonna jump in the air. She's gonna tap 2 times before she lands. So jump, double tap. Good, so you hear 3 taps. You have tap, tap, land. Tap, tap, land. We wanna do 100 of those for 400 meters or 50 of those for our 200-meter run. So you're gonna go through that whole cycle 4 times. Now, you're not quite done. That's gonna get our heart rate up. It's time to focus on some core strength. We have 3 rounds of 15 tuck-ups, followed by 5 side plank rotations on each side. So you guys did a little bit of this earlier. Erica's gonna leave her feet really close to the ground, but still in the air. She's in a nice hollow position. She's gonna snap her body in until her chest and her knees come in contact. What we wanna do, relax, thank you, is try and make sure your feet stay up off the floor the entire time, but we don't want them pointed straight up. The closer you can keep them to the floor, the better. Same thing with your hands. Now we have 5 side plank rotations on each side. So Erica's gonna go up onto her elbow. She's gonna reach up to the sky and then down and through the gap between her body and the floor. The more she can reach that rotation on the underside, the better. Same thing as we come up to the top. I'm pretty far behind her, and I want her to really try and open that chest up and get it nice and tall. So 3 sets of 15 with 5 plank rotations on each side. Have a great workout and a great rest of your day.